Come on down. The price is right. Is it right though, sellers and buyers? We need to ask ourselves, are you priced right in this market? And we're going to talk about the end of June market stats as we head into the dead of summer. Woo, it's hot. It's hot with pricing. It's hot with supply. Lots to talk about in this end of month June market update. Stay tuned. I can hardly believe it. It's summer. It's halfway through the year. Well, as of the date of filming here. So end of June 2025 market. What is going on? I think in a nutshell, new construction is pretty much the hottest thing going, I feel like. There's a lot of action there. Builders have deeper pockets than an individual owner, so they're doing pretty well, I think. I do mostly the general market, although I do represent buyers on new construction as well. And once again, I have not looked at the stats, but I'm feeling whatever's in here, so let's go through it. Closed sales, now we're comparing end of May stats while we're in June 2025 to last year. Let's kind of go over like the bigger picture here. Closed sales are down 7.3% year over year. Paid in cash down 20%. Median sales price, which is probably a little bit more accurate than average because we have some big skews up and down. Median sales price down 12.3%. We're getting a lot of down numbers, right? Even the average is down 12.4%. The volume is down 18.8%. Median time to contract is, sale, meaning median time to contract. Let's do that first. Median time to contract, 51 days, meaning closing time is an average of 93 days. So from the time you list to the time you close, 93 days. If you're priced well in this market and you go to pending in 51 days, you're doing something right. So kudos to those going pending in 51 days on average. New listings is actually down this last month, 7.6%. And pending inventory is about the same from this May 2025 compared to the last May 2024. Excuse me, I almost choked on this one. Active inventory is way up 27.9% year over year. So if you're a seller, you're probably feeling that. And then at the end, normally I like to start with supply inventory, supply versus demand. Months of supply, 6.6 months. Now for, normally I don't, and this is for Sarasota single family homes, Sarasota County. I know that because I had a listing appointment, and for condos, townhomes, villas, Sarasota County, you guys are way up. You're at 9.2 months of inventory. In a really high supply market, this is what's happening. And I'm just going to rattle off examples of what I'm seeing. Buyers are looking at a ton of properties, right? So a seller, a lot of times when I'm talking to a seller, they'll say, well, she just showed up or he just showed up and wrote the offer. Like, why should I pay them this much? You know, chances are they're out pounding the pavement. I showed a buyer 15 houses in two different days, 2 mornings. That's a lot of property. That's a lot of options. After a while, they run together. Buyers forget what they look like. Agents forget what they look like. So we're always providing feedback. I pride myself on giving agents a lot of feedback because I think it's important. I give really honest feedback. I had shown a house. I gave her really honest, raw feedback to help them sell the house. Based on that feedback, they lowered it $100,000 and they'll probably sell soon. You know, the other side of things, so when you say like, well, she just showed up and now we're pending or whatever, you know, these buyers agents are working a lot harder, and buyers have a lot of discretion. They have time. I think it feels like they have more time for some reason. They want to look at things not just once, twice, sometimes 3 times to make sure that they're buying the right property, or like in the interim, another one might come up. So they'll be like, okay, let's look at a few more. And so we're really working hard right now. I'll tell you that. And helping our buyers narrow things down a little bit, kind of let's narrow the scope here a little bit. Sometimes we get agents from Tampa coming down to our islands and they don't know our islands. So it's a lot of educating, and that's fine. I mean, I like to show up to open up my listings. I think that's part of our, first class white glove service that we offer. I have an interesting situation where, and I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I'll just tell you, I'm going up against a realtor who on a good sized listing, and they asked for their fee is 1% versus my fee is higher. And when the seller asked the agent, like, do you have this, whatever, it was a certain designation, right? It means that you've gone to schooling and you have a designation against your realtor name or whatever, you can promote yourself. And the agent said he didn't know and that he would have to find out. Well, that tells you right there, like, if you have a designation, you would know. You've gone to school for it. Like, I personally have I think it's one of the better ones. I think education's great. But I personally think that the CLHMS, which stands for Certified Luxury Home Marketing Specialist, which is a course, a really intense 3-day long course. I think it's 3 days, X amount of hours. But you have to also, in order to earn the designation, to solidify that and use that after your name, you have to submit top tier sales within a really minimized criteria, like to show that you have sold in the upper tier echelon price point of your market. And that's why I really love it, because not only am I a CLHMS designee, but I'm part of the guild, which is an even higher tier within the institute itself. And so to me, it's not just to say that I have it, it's the education behind it. It's showcasing that I've proven my place in the community as far as a top tier realtor, knowing that when you list with an agent like me, you have the education to back it and the proof behind it as well. And the general public doesn't really know or maybe care about it, but when it comes time to sell your house and you're comparing apples to apples, you need to compare, the same caliber of agent to the same caliber of agent. And then it's a matter of sometimes just kismet, right? If you feel like you just connect more with somebody or not, sometimes it just comes down to that. But when you're saying an agent's going to only ask 1%, they're really devalued. They don't know how to value themselves to get the higher commission, right? I have a level of service that I know that I'm going to provide. I know that this market takes a lot more experience, grit, tenacity, consistency, professional advice. You want your agent to be able to say, listen, we need to pivot, we need to change the price, we need to do this, we need to stage. You're looking to that agent, you're paying them their worth, right? Because you just have a feeling that they're confident in their abilities based on the market. Like, we're all working in this market we can't control. We're going to control the controllables, right? And I'm going to advise you as your agent, okay, we need to do this, this, and this, or we're not going to sell, or it's going to take X amount of time longer to sit. There's definitely challenges. You don't want to discount yourself and your biggest asset, or one of your biggest assets, by skimping out on an agent that's never sold in your area. I think you should ask them, if you're interviewing people, whether you're working as a buyer's agent or a seller's agent. Buyers don't care as much on this, but sellers definitely do. What is your total volume? What do you do differently than every other agent? What do you do besides putting it in the MLS? Do you accompany your showings? What does that mean? What are the stats for my neighborhood? And where are we going to position it based on what you're telling me the market is? So it's really involved, and it's ever changing. I will say this, the inventory is going up and buyers are sitting on the sidelines. But you know what? I'm starting to see sellers get a little more creative here too, which is great. They're offering creative marketing programs, the buy down rates, these properties might be sitting for a while. They have no choice but to offer something. Check out my playlist too, because there's other things happening post hurricane. I did a restoration liens video. If you have concerns about liens maybe, or you're looking at a property that was post hurricane and you're wondering, did it have flooding? I've got another client right now that's looking at a high turnover rental type property. And, we have really great vendors that we can get pro formas from. There's a lot of niche properties and buyer needs that are really diverse right now. And when you know buyers, you can help sellers. When you have a lot of inventory, you can place them with buyers. When you have a listing, it creates 3 to 4 buyers, right? So as a seller, you're understanding what you're getting for the 1% versus 2% or 3%, whatever your agent charges on the listing side, right? If an agent is only saying they're going to charge you 1% on their side, something has got to give. You can't expect, and I hate to compare this to vehicles, right? Let's just say a Porsche and a Toyota, right? You can't expect to pay a Toyota price but get a Porsche product. It's the same thing, right? It's a diminishing rate of return when that 1% agent, there's something that's going to give here, right? Because their take home is going to be far less than 1%. They don't get the whole 1%. I could go on and on about that, but in a market like this that has such high supply to such little demand, it is more important to hire an experienced agent. And if you're new, you can't create the experience. It takes time, And I was new too, and it's frustrating. You look to your company, look to your team. If you're on a team, a lot of these people are on teams. So there are things you can do, but a lot of these people with a great deal of wealth, or they have a lot of assets, they are very savvy and they know the questions to ask. And when you don't know your value or how to sell your value, they will read through that very, very quickly. Now is not the time to dink around and test out the market with someone that's new. That would not be my advice, but that's just me. And again, I think it definitely comes down to kismet and personality and who you get along with. I hope you call me. I want you to call me. I would love for you to refer me to your friends and family too. And I take great care of my clients, guys. Even if I happen to go out of town or happen to go on vacation once in a while, everybody needs it, by the way. Nobody can work 24/7. I don't like that. Everybody needs breaks. I always have my listings covered. I always have someone covering for me. So you're always going to be taken care of. I think that's really important. People just need their agent. They need someone that's not a computer. We're not Zillow. That's not what you're buying, and that's not what you're hiring, and that's not what you want. I would hope if you call me. So anyway, I work a really large area, as you know. I could talk about the stats too in your neighborhood in a lot greater detail. Price per square foot, days on market. This is just a generalization, right, that we can go off of that's gauging the marketplace in general. So your neighborhood is going to be even more hyper focused, and it might be very different than this, right? You might have one house in your neighborhood. It might be a really large neighborhood. It might be a small neighborhood. So it depends. So call your girl, complimentary consultations, no pressure. I'm not a pressure salesy person. It has to be mutually beneficial. This is a relationship business, and one that I hope I can earn and have it for a lifetime. And guys, I want to hear from you, and thank you. You can reach me at 941-544-7690. You can go to my website, shaylatwit.com. You can email me at shaylatwit@gmail.com. Thank you for watching.